All right, Erin Burke joining me for another video podcast. It's lovely to see you, Erin.
You too.
It's kind of fun, we get to see a little bit of the room. I like your "Let It Be" sign in the
Oh,
back.
thank you. Yeah,
Is that
I've
is that do you go ahead, go ahead.
I've had a lot of time to work on cleaning and decorating, and yeah, that was definitely something that I was like, "I have to keep that."
So that's not a new sign.
No, it's not.
Okay. Are you a Beatles fan, or is
I
that
am,
maybe?
yeah. Yep.
Hmm. I
And
actually didn't know that about you. We've
yeah,
been Yeah, go ahead.
something that I've had some time to do with all this open space is I have started playing the piano again. I played it a few years ago, and then my piano teacher moved away, and I, like, told myself that I was gonna just keep going on my own, but I never really made time for it. But I learned how to play "Imagine" by John Lennon just a few days ago. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Did you work all the way through the song? Do you know the whole thing?
Not the whole thing, just, like, the intro before he starts singing. Yeah.
Now, I was gonna ask, now are you singing as well or only playing the piano?
Only playing the piano, but I don't know. Maybe I'll sing along with it for fun one of these times.
I think you should, or get mom or dad to
Yeah.
jump in with you.
Mhm.
I'm sure they'd be happy to, and then
Oh,
record it, and then make it go viral and all of
mhm.
that.
Yep.
Erin, it's interesting. I've spoken now with quite a few students, and it's been interesting to see, like, how they're spending time. Do you, I don't know. Let's start with an overall. Overall, how are you doing? I mean, playing the piano sounds like kind of a productive, creative, nice thing to do. But
Yeah.
are you happy, or yeah, overall, how are you feeling?
I'm kinda, like, bummed out about not most likely not going back to school this year, 'cause there was, like, a lot of stuff to look forward to and a lot of people that now I don't know if I'm ever gonna see them again, and that's really weird to
Yeah.
me. But I think, like, the first week that we were out of school, I was really bored and I didn't know what to do with myself, but now I think I'm kinda starting to figure that out a little bit more.
Yeah, has that just come out of necessity, do you feel, or did it come out of were you out of a feeling you were having, or?
Like, me being able to make a better use of my time?
Yeah.
Think I don't know, I guess, like, after the first week, I didn't really do anything, and I felt so unproductive, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta figure out how to spend this time." So then I, like, started trying to wake up a little earlier, go to bed a little earlier, and get outside as much as possible, and, something that I wanted to get into and get really good at is Guitar Hero. Have you ever played that?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course. I
So, yeah, I started playing that, and my dad actually got into it a little bit with me, and it's really fun.
back in the day I had a Guitar Hero band name called Smoked Gouda.
Really? Oh my
Yeah, I was all I made a couple of T-shirts for us and everything like that. It was pretty stupid, but we had fun.
god. Yeah.
Did you and your dad have a band name
No, we don't. I guess that'll come later.
yet?
Yeah, that's how
A
I've
little
been
more experience.
that's how I've been spending my time. And I try to, like, take my dog on long walks and go to the dog park and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. In the absence of school, have you learned anything about yourself? Like, have you I mean, you picked up piano again, playing some rock band, having a little silly time with dad. All these things, I'm guessing that with your high demands of school, you didn't really have time for. Is that, yeah? What does that feel like, or how? I guess, are you happy about that in
Yeah,
amidst the sadness?
yeah, it's made me realize that when I go to college in the fall, I'm gonna miss my family so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I get it.
mhm.
And now you're decided on university, right?
Yes, I'm going to U of M, and I'm gonna study business.
Fantastic. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What draws you to business?
Um, well, I've been involved in BPA at school the past few years, Business Professionals of America, and, I think there's just a lot of interesting pathways, like, I took accounting this year, and I really enjoyed that, and I like finance stuff, and, like, I took AP Econ last year, and I really liked that, so I think the deciding factor was kind of, like, classes that I took in high school.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. When you did BPA, what was your main focus? What were
Um,
you
this
primarily, what did you engage in?
this year I was part of the financial analyst team, which was, like we had this, like, fake business that we had to make decisions for, and we had to, like, help somebody decide if they wanted to keep certain locations of their store open or, like, switch to online stuff. So, we had to, like, figure out what would be best from a business standpoint and then, um, analyze, like, the numbers, like, her finances and profits and everything. So, I think that that really interested me.
I, and do you have a vision in like the area you'd like to work? Like I know you said business, but I mean, do you like retail or like the business world of medicine? Does that, are you like, hey, I'm a high school senior. I have no idea.
Yeah, I really don't know yet. I'm hoping that I get more clarity on that when I'm in college and I can get more experience in different kind of pathways and decide from there.
Yeah, yeah. So thinking about your high school career, you are just a really phenomenal student. I've loved having you in my class so much. And I have to think like the cancellation of the IB test for you is a real bummer
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
yeah, because you were going to perform well.
Yeah, I
So how are
think
you feeling? Mhm.
the hardest thing about that is just that we spent so much time preparing for it and now like, preparing for the tests, and now they're not gonna happen, and I don't know what colleges are gonna do about that. I still need to talk to my admissions counselor regarding college credits and stuff from the classes that I've taken, but yeah, it's a bummer for sure.
Yeah, I know. It appears you're going to get some type of a score based off of your, IAs and stuff like that. And I mean, like I mentioned before, if you don't get the score that you think we're going to get, I fight for it or talk to admissions people and make it happen, as best you can because of these unique times. Um, yeah, because you were going to score well, so I'm sure it's a bummer. But you need to know like those skills aren't like just because we don't have a test, it's not like those skills aren't important. Of course, you'll
Yeah,
be
I
using them
agree,
here.
definitely. I don't regret taking IB and AP classes at all, because I think I'm more prepared for college level classes now, but yeah.
And actually, you have some insight on that, right, through your brother. I mean, does he say, "Hey, the APIB that's really helped him," or
Yeah, he thinks that without the IB program, he definitely wouldn't have, gotten ahead as much as he did, in college, like, he went in with a bunch of credits, and that helped him a lot, but even then, like, he was used to the amount of work that he got in college, so it wasn't a huge change for him, and yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that too. It makes all the
Yeah,
work
I can't. So tell me, say again.
it makes all the work that I've done in high school worth it, I think.
For sure, for sure. What are some of the things that get you most excited about U of M next fall? And then of course I'm also curious about maybe what's got you a little bit scared.
I'm really excited to be on the same campus as my brother. Um,
Yeah,
I know my parents are gonna like that too, they can come and visit both of us at the same time. Um,
you bet.
I'm excited to meet more people and be a part of, like, a big school. Like, I feel like I've been at Spring Lake for my whole life, and I absolutely love it, but I'm ready for bigger things. A big city, kind of.
I don't blame you one bit. You're gonna love it. Yeah, yeah. Does that idea also scare you though? Like, do you feel like you haven't had any preparation for the big city? I mean, considering thinking about U of M as big city, certainly compared to Spring Lake. I mean, I love that you're excited for it, but in what ways are you anxious about that?
Yeah, it's a little intimidating because there's gonna be so many people, and I hope it's not, like I hope people aren't super competitive, like, with schoolwork and stuff, because 'cause I've kind of felt that in high school, and I don't know, I don't want a lot of fierce competition kinda thing in my classes and stuff, so hopefully that's not a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about that. Why don't you like that? Like, because of course in the IB program and when we have certain like class rankings, I mean, man, it's a weird world where it can be where academia can be super competitive. And
Yeah,
frankly, like so can the world. And so how has that affected you to the point where you're hoping that doesn't exist too much?
I think that, competition kinda brings about, like, the feeling of being pressured, and under that feeling, under that, like, condition, I don't feel like I can focus on what's really important, so, yeah.
Which is what? I mean, yeah. So like, try in regards to the IB program or the IB classes or AP classes you're in. You're suggesting that the competition for the grade actually distracts your purpose. Well, what is the purpose then?
The purpose, I would say, is just learning as much as I possibly can and trying to prepare myself for my future, and I don't want it to be compared to other people's futures because that's not the point.
That makes all the sense in the world to me. Yet there is something embedded in it, isn't there, where we make some systems for comparison between people. And yeah, it's interesting because I know an argument, right? Some arguments say, but that competition brings out the best in us. And
Mhm.
then there are other arguments that say, yes, it does. But then there's a point where like you say, my purpose is lost or my focus is lost. And then I'm not really my best self when my focus is, or my purpose is changed, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I see this more than I wish I did in high schoolers, where when the purpose becomes being ranked higher, it can sometimes lead to some really nasty habits or traits. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I know there's gonna be
Good to
some
watch out for that.
yeah. I know there's gonna be some competition and stuff in college, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I know there's gonna be some competition and stuff in college, which I'm okay with. I just hope, like, I'm not limited in what I'm able to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that. First of all, I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like at U of M. You know, I assume that competition will actually be quite high, I would guess. But, but I also know that like it's up to an individual to interpret that, to consider what that means for her, and to what degree are you going to engage in that or create a different atmosphere or a different idea.
Mhm.
So this leads me to an important question, Erin. Like when you're working your best, when you really feel like you're thriving, what are the conditions then when you feel you're at your absolute best?
I think I'm at my best when I'm able to talk to my classmates and we can help each other out, and it's not like we're not concerned about boosting the other person ahead of like, if I ask somebody for help, I want them to feel like they can help me without fearing that it's gonna put me ahead of them, which I think is kind of a common fear for students, but I don't know. I think that us helping
No, I get it.
yeah, I think us helping each other is really important as students, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good. As we kind of wind down our conversation, I just want to ask you, what are the things we're all a little concerned. We don't know absolutely, but from many different places, we've been sort of warned that we might not be going back to school again. Excuse me, this school year. And I'm wondering what's on your mind about missing the most? What were things on the calendar that you're like, yeah, this is gonna hurt?
I think the biggest thing for me was, the graduation, like, ceremony, and as that gets closer and closer, like, if we were in school, I think we would feel the excitement, like, all the seniors together, and I've always heard from people older than me that as the school year winds down, like, seniors get kinda sentimental and they become really close, and I don't know, we're not gonna have that opportunity this year, which is kinda disappointing.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I understand. And then what is so then so those are when you think of the calendar, that's what gets you sad, frustrated, um, mad, maybe.
Mhm.
I guess maybe we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what are you wanting to focus on to get your mindset beyond that?
Um, I think I just kinda have to keep reminding myself that this will end and we will be able to leave our houses again, and I know that there's probably some people in my grade that I won't see again, but I don't know, I just kinda have to hope that I will. I'll run into them somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Or think of who those people are, those really small connections that may not hang on, and try to reach out to them in the next month and a half, trying to just say, you might not think I noticed you, but I did, or whatever. And I think that could be quite lovely.
Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe even last lecture worthy, should you
Yeah,
do that.
that's a good point.
Right? if we go that route, which I
Yeah,
think the more and more I think about it, the more I think we will. So,
mhm.
um, so we always end the podcast asking this question. So I'll ask it to you as well.
Okay.
What's a piece of advice? What's a piece of advice for anyone who's listening? Be it a senior, a parent of a student, I don't know, anyone at all. What's a piece of advice you'd want to tell people?
Something that I'm kinda just starting to pick up on myself is, um, reach out to those that are important to you in any way that you can.
Yeah, yeah, because. I'm going to ask you one more because.
because we realize how important people are to us when we can't see them as much as we would on a normal day-to-day basis. Now that we're out of society, kind of, we have more time to think about
Yeah, yeah.
what's really important to us.
Truth. All right. Thanks, Erin. Really appreciate it. And boy, whenever the time is, I'm anxious to see you. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All
All
right,
right.
thank
See you.
you.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.